The first prediction for today is for the game between the Timberwolves and the Knicks. Let's talk hoops. Madison Square Garden is set for a clash that's got old school grit written all over it. The Knicks have been steadying the ship under new leadership, while the Timberwolves are just trying to keep the wheels turning on this East Coast road trip. And tonight, something's got to give. The Knicks have been showing flashes of what could be a scary team once they fully sink under Mike Brown. Jalen Brunson's been their heartbeat, running the show and getting everyone involved, while Karl Anthony Towns looks more comfortable every night in his new role back in New York. The Garden crowd's been behind them too. They've been rock solid at home, winning and covering in every single game so far this season. But the concern here is their over-reliance on Brunson's isolation play and the inconsistency of guys like Josh Hart, who's still searching for rhythm. Defensively, the Knicks are a mixed bag, dominant on the glass, but shaky when forced into rotation. They're top tier in limiting second chance points, but their perimeter defense has been questionable. Against a team that moves the ball like Minnesota, that can get exposed quickly. Now, about those Timberwolves, this squad's quietly finding its groove. Sure, Anthony Edwards has been banged up, but this group's been getting it done without him. Dante DiVincenzo has stepped up big time. Jaden McDaniels has been lights out from mid-range, and Naz Reid's been a walking spark plug off the bench. Add Julius Randle to that mix, and you've got a front court that can bully its way through any matchup. The Wolves' offense has been firing on all cylinders lately. 56% shooting in their last win, over 40% from deep, and that 17-6 fourth quarter burst against Brooklyn said a lot about their composure down the stretch. They're finally learning how to close games. Defensively, yes, they've missed Nickeil Alexander-Walker's presence on the wing, but Rudy Gobert is still anchoring the paint like a fortress, forcing opponents to settle for jumpers. And when Towns stretches the floor with his shooting, it pulls defenders out of position and opens driving lanes for the guards. Exactly what the Knicks' slow-footed rotations hate. Look, the Knicks have been great at home, but this spot has trap game energy all over it. Minnesota's covered 2 straight and looks hungry for more. Their ball movement, balanced scoring, and rebounding advantage give them a real shot to keep this one tight all the way through. My prediction, I'm riding with the Minnesota Timberwolves to cover the 7-point spread. They've got the length, the rhythm, and the momentum to hang tough at the Garden. I think they'll keep it close, maybe even flirt with the upset. The second prediction for today is for the game between the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. This matchup has all the energy of a playoff night. Miami rolling into Denver with their new run-and-gun identity, and the Nuggets ready to remind everybody whose houseball arena really is. I've watched Miami closely this season, and I'll admit, this is not the same slow-grinding Heat team from last year. Spoelstra's boys have been flying up the floor, playing with tempo, and letting Bam Adebayo lead from the middle. Norman Powell has added that instant spark. Wiggins has looked more comfortable finding his rhythm, and their spacing has been on point. But here's the problem. When you run that fast against Denver at altitude, you're walking straight into a trap. The Nuggets love it when teams try to trade buckets with them. Denver's offensive execution at home is just ridiculous. They're shooting over 51% from the field, moving the ball beautifully, and using Jokic as the ultimate chess piece. He's not just putting up numbers. He's controlling the entire flow of the game. 30-plus points, double-digit boards, and near 15 assists? That's not a stat line. That's art. Now, I'm not ignoring Miami's effort. They've been excellent offensively, top 10 in both shooting efficiency and scoring. But this is their 4th straight game on the road. Legs start to get heavy, especially at the tail end of a West Coast swing. And without Tyler Herro, they lose one of the few guys who can truly create his own shot in clutch moments. Denver, meanwhile, is rested, deep, and undefeated at home. Murray's jumper has been shaky lately, but even when he's not hitting, guys like Aaron Gordon and Christian Braun have stepped up. Denver's bench isn't a liability anymore. They've got real contributors who can hold or extend leads. When I look at this matchup, I see 2 things, pace and altitude. Miami's trying to outrun everyone, but in Denver, that plan backfires fast. You can't maintain that rhythm for 4 quarters when the Nuggets are executing with surgical precision and Jokic is orchestrating every possession like a maestro. I don't doubt the Heat will hang around early. They've got pride, and Bam's going to battle Jokic with everything he's got. But when that third quarter hits and Denver starts finding rhythm from deep, that's when the separation comes. The Nuggets don't just beat you, they wear you down mentally. My prediction is simple: Denver to win and cover the 8.5-point spread. I don't have the slightest doubt they can outplay Miami by double digits if Jokic decides to take over. The only way the Heat stay close is if Jokic gets passive again, trying too hard to share the spotlight. But if he steps on the gas and looks to dominate, this game's over before the fourth quarter even starts. Everything depends on him: the pace, the tone, the confidence. I'm rolling with Denver tonight. My money is on the Nuggets to win big and cover that spread. The third prediction for today is for the game between the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. San Antonio rolls into LA, and I'm locked in on how this matchup actually plays at floor level, not just on paper. The Lakers have been hot, sure, but a lot of that shine comes from big individual nights and an offense that leans on tough shot making. What I care about tonight is possession math, rim protection, and how San Antonio's length changes the geometry of the game. Let me start with the Spurs. After that stumble against Phoenix, I expect a sharp response. Victor Wembanyama rarely strings poor outings together. When he's active early, contesting above the square, sprinting into deep seals, and dragging a second defender on rolls, the whole Spurs offense breathes. San Antonio's spine is defense and rebounding. Long arms in passing lanes, second efforts on the glass, and quick outlets that get Stephon Castle and Devin Vassell downhill before the Lakers can set their shell. If the Spurs win the rebound count and keep the live ball turnovers low, they control tempo without needing a perfect shooting night. Now the Lakers. They've shown resilience with rotating lineups, and role players have punched above their weight. But this matchup punishes soft spots. San Antonio's length at the rim can mute those mid-post touches and push LA into late clock jumpers. If Austin Reeves is less than full throttle or the handle committee gets loose against pressure, the Lakers' half-court flow can stall. That's where the Spurs' edge shows up. Extra possessions, deflections that don't hit the box score, and Wemby erasing 2 points here, 2 points there. A few swing factors I'm watching: Spurs' weak side tagging on LA's empty corner actions, San Antonio's corner 3 volume off driving kick, and whether Keldon Johnson's physicality at the nail nudges the whistle their way. Also the glass. The Spurs have been the sturdier, rebounding outfit. Win that. You flatten LA's runouts and grind the game toward your terms. Bottom line, I'm betting on length, discipline, and response. The number is tight enough that the possession battle matters more than star power on a random Wednesday. I'm riding with the road team to keep this inside 1 or 2 trips, and they've got real upset equity if the whistle doesn't skew. My prediction: the San Antonio Spurs cover the 3.5-point spread. I'm taking the points with San Antonio. The fourth prediction for today is for the game between the Thunder and the Trail Blazers. I've got my eyes on Portland hosting Oklahoma City, and I'm buying the idea that this one turns into a fight, not a blowout. Yes, the Thunder have been perfect in the win column, but perfect doesn't mean painless. They've been living on the edge in a few road spots, and now they walk into the Moda Center on the back half of a back-to-back. That's when legs get heavy, rotations get shorter, and whistle trouble matters. Portland's profile at home is exactly what you want from a live dog. They scrap, they stay connected, and they've already shown they can punch up against bigger names in their own building. When the pace tilts into track meet territory, the Blazers can run. When it slows down, they've got enough half-court toughness to keep the score within arm's reach. That versatility is why they continue to cash tickets as home underdogs. The other piece for me is a shot diet. Oklahoma City's defense is elite at walling off the paint and smothering 2-point looks, but Portland doesn't mind turning games into hustle contests. Deflections, extra possessions, second chance points. If the Thunder's jumpers don't travel on tired legs, those long rebounds become fuel for Portland's transition and early offense touches. Add in Portland's tendency to take away easy threes and mid-range comfort shots, and you've got the makings of a grinder. Situationally, it lines up. The Thunder have stacked wins, but their cover rate hasn't kept pace, especially laying numbers on the road. Meanwhile, Portland has remained steady at the window, and that matters in shaping how this spread unfolds. Recent head-to-head history leans heavily to Oklahoma City, but streaks fade when context shifts, rest edge, venue edge, and a hungry home group that's been circling these spots. I'm also tracking the first quarter. Oklahoma City usually comes out sharp, but second night fatigue shows up after halftime. If Portland can survive the initial burst, the door opens late for a cover and a last 5 minutes coin flip. My read: this game lives in that 6 to 8 point pocket most of the night, with Portland answering every Thunder run. I expect a tug-of-war scoreboard, whistles to matter, and the energy in the building to carry the Blazers through the final stretch. My prediction is the Portland Trail Blazers to cover plus 6.5, and I might sprinkle a little on the money line for a cheeky upset. That's where my money is tonight.